Therapy Army! Let's be having you, Therapy Army. Let's go, people. Let's be having you. Let's be having you. In the world of Manchester United, mate. Drama, more PR. Youth PR. Honestly, the youth PR of Erik ten Hag is crazy. PR, FC. Here we go. Yeah. Honestly, the youth PR, Rico. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, he's playing youth, but the way he's talking about it, and I'm gonna give you, Rico. I'm gonna put that so I can come back to your comment. But big up to you, Lilas. Big up to you. Big up to you, Scousers in the mud at Liverpool. It's 2 legs in it, so they've got another leg in it at Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't it? It's 2-legged tie. Yeah, 2-legged tie. Ten Hag. I think Liverpool might want to go out the Europa League, to concentrate on the league. Might be a tactic. You never know. You know what I mean? Big up Eid Mubarak, man. Eid Mubarak to all the Muslims. Big up Nick Nash. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Scamacca, Nuruddin with the vision. Listen, Saeed, big up to you, King. Appreciate the super chat. Always love. Yeah, big up Saeed. Did a watch along. But apparently, Scamacca, I rate that guy, man. I'm telling you, my eyes don't lie to me. He's got all of the qualities. But I told everybody from day dot, if he goes to West Ham, David Moyes ruins strikers, mate. Ruins them. So I always talked about that. But big up to everybody. This is the Bournemouth Manchester United preview. And we're going to be talking about Erik ten Hag PR. And we're talking about Ineos PR and everybody else's PR. So big up to everybody. Love and like. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And there you go. And retweet this so let people know we're live. Because obviously, we're silenced out here. Big up. Adewale says, Scamacca better than Hojlund, and Atlanta took our money and got a better striker for less than half the price. Something. Listen, Hojlund's still a kid. Scamacca is only young as well. But the idea that Scamacca was finished, West Ham are some of the worst football they play, mate. Ultra defensive football. And David Moyes. Hala came, couldn't settle in with David Moyes at West Ham. Went to Ajax. Did the business, banged in goals in the Champions League, one of the highest levels of football. So, yeah, to me, Scamacca is a good player, man. I told people about that guy. And I told, and go and find what Antonio said, what he was like. I'll never forget as well, if you watch West Ham play Man City, Scamacca absolutely ranked them Man City defense ragged. But it is what it is. Nah, he's not a bum. Nah, I don't agree with that. He's young. And he's been burnt out already by Manchester United. That's why he's had the injury. But let me welcome in my guest tonight, man. Don't be rude. That was the intro. We've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Let's get in, people. Let people know. Mumbai is about. Better watch out. How are you, Jarvis? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I just did a preview with MUFC Release TV with Mick and Mark. It was a good one. We talked a lot about Bournemouth and Andoni Iraola, so I'm prepared to this. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, big up. How's the settle into the new gaff? No window. I missed the window, man. I missed the window.
It's nothing behind this wall.
I missed the window to used to see what the weather was like in northern Norway. Big up to you, though. You're settling in now, the new home, yeah?
I'm settling in, yeah. The new flat is perfectly well. It's downtown, so I don't have to drive 25 minutes to work every day, so it saves me a lot of time. So running your own business, doing a YouTube show, running a family, everything takes a lot of time. So whenever I can save a little bit, that's great. So it's a margins game.
Well, I hope YouTube is for you to get away from everything, and it's for your own time to talk football in it. Football is a beautiful sport in it. So big up to you, brother. It's always love. Big up to my brother Lesso. Lesso, talk to me. You good? How's your day?
No, big up. Yeah.
What's the weather like in Southern Africa?
It's yeah, man. We're heading to the winter period currently, and it's very kind of cold at the moment.
How cold does it get in the winter? How cold can it get?
Politics season. It can really get cold as well. We could get as early as much as -5 to -6, depending where you are in the country.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, we do get snow as well. So yeah, it is what it is. But no, big up to the channel. Big up to the chats as usual. Smash the like button, people. Let's get the subscribers numbers up as well. And yeah, big up to as well Jarvis. Big up to Bombay as usual. I think we're gonna have an entertaining show with him as well there. And yeah,
Yeah,
let's go.
big up to you, King. Mumbai, how you doing? We having it. Eid Mubarak, Habibi.
Yeah, Eid Mubarak to everybody around the world that was observing Ramadan. Inshallah, it was blessed. And may God accept the prayers and the supplications. I'm wonderful, man. Thank you very much. I'm doing really well. Looking forward to the show. Evening Lesso, Jarvis. How are you guys? Everybody all right?
Good.
Good,
to see
yeah.
you,
Congrats
Bombay.
on the
Yeah,
on
they
the
look
new
good to
on the
me.
new
Good.
on the move to the new flat, as you say. It's a good way of looking at it. Time is the only thing that we can never get back. So if you can save some and use it, that's time well spent.
Yeah, it's true. True. Saves me 25 minutes every day each way. So it's almost an hour, 50 minutes. That's great.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Time. When you got family, you know what I mean? Time is
Has
good.
Eric Ten
Especially
Hag
in the
got
winter.
time?
Especially how crazy it snows in the winter over there. Especially getting in the car and stuff like that. Oh my god, yes. That's crazy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
but
what I
you
mean?
need to have the car in the garage, and I'm a fortunate guy. I have a Tesla, so I just hit the app, so it's always warm when I get in it and drive. So it's
But
no
I'm talking
big
about like
problem.
traveling through snow and heavy snowfall, when you're in the car. You know what I mean? When you're traveling to work, you can have
Yeah,
some.
but we are used to it. We live in the north. We are prepared. It can snow 1 meter at night, and the roads are clear, so it's no problem. We have adapted to the climate. It's no problem.
Yeah, big up. Love and light, man. Yeah, I see a lot of people dunking on Liverpool, but it's a second leg still. Liverpool have come back from a bigger leagues than this, to be fair. Guys, remember Barcelona? But big up Scamacca. I told everybody about Scamacca, man. He's a good striker.
Yeah.
David Moyes, mate. Don't ever think about David Moyes coaching, yeah. Come on, everyone, sing along. You know the words. Na, 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 na. Goodbye, club. na, 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 na. Da 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 da.
Not on Eric Ten Hag's watch, right?
Oh God, let's not talk about it.
Claim to fame at this rate.
Pick up. He says, my parents live in Alberta. It snows mad out here, 30 Celsius during the winter. Gosh, minus 30. God. Jarvis lives there, man. Jarvis lives minus 30 as well. Big up to everybody, though. Love and light. Let's get into it, people. Manchester United play Bournemouth on Saturday at 5 o'clock. God. Jarvis, would you remind the viewers what the score was? Manchester United at home versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, it was a fantastic 3-0 to Bournemouth, if you guys remember. It was a terrible game. We played into Andoni Iraiola's hands with the mid-low block. They have Sting in their attack, Solanke, Tavernier, people who knows how to work hard, but they know how to run when they have the chance. So they just sat back, waited for us to lose the ball, make mistakes, and then they hit us on the counter. So today, on Saturday, will be a tough game, playing against this team. And I'm not extremely optimistic. We have to change up our style. We can't play this ultra direct, extreme transition, high tempo chaos game, because then, a pragmatic Iraola, we just sit back and say, bring it. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, 100%, Jarvis. I was there. I left early. I told you guys. I left about 20 minutes to go. I think 15, 20 minutes to go. I was like, I'm done out here. I was looking at the rain. The rain was coming down, and then I was like, oh, the rain has stopped. I better get home quickly before the rain, because the rain was so much that day. It was coming down a lot with the wind, and I was like, on the bike. So I was like, right, I better avoid that crazy traffic and get home quickly. So I got home quickly. Because we were just toothless, absolutely toothless.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the preview actually before that, Jarvis. We broke it down that that actually the traps they set for you, they set certain traps for you, and then bang, 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 and the third man runs, and you know the way they like lopside you in one way and then switch the play because they've got good players out wide, and then Solanke running in behind the two centre halves, occupying the space between the fullback and the centre half and making runs in there. Yeah, big up, Double O Tom, international man of mystery. Tommy, where are you in the world? How are you?
There you go. How are we doing, guys?
How you
Good
doing,
evening,
man?
Tom. Sunny Sheffield?
Sunny Sheffield. You mean snowy Sheffield?
Snowy, it's snowing.
It was snowing earlier, yeah. Lightly
Wow.
anyway, but
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
cold.
we're just talking about how I left early at the Bournemouth game when I was there. Left early. I was like, you know what? I had to beat the rain to get home. I looked at the clock. Looked at my phone. Thought, okay, it's gonna be raining after the match finishes. I was like, I better go.
I turned the fucking telly off at 2-0. I thought, nah, fuck this.
Yeah, well, that's what it was, but it is what it is. But big up to everybody. So, of course, Bournemouth, coached by our friend. I always mispronounce his name. Jarvis, help me with his name.
Andoni Iraola.
Iraola, yeah, from the Basque, if I'm not mistaken, the Basque country. Yeah, it's interesting. Arteta was saying that the Basque country is basically recruiting producing so many good coaches, and they were asking Arteta, and I think Arteta said it's because of our diet. We have good diet, and to be fair, the Basque country, the food is amazing. Oh my God! I went to Saint Sebastian in 2019, before COVID. I think in May 2019, before COVID, I went on a holiday for 4 or 5 days to the Basque country, and Bilbao is there. I went to Bilbao, stayed in Bilbao, visited a couple of smaller towns outside, went to San Sebastian. That's where Real Sociedad, that's where they play. Went there, had an amazing time. So yeah, the food was amazing. Oh, yeah, I had a really nice time. So loved it. So big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. So I'm gonna expect the same game. I'm gonna expect the same game. I'm gonna expect them to set traps. I'm gonna expect them to give us the ball in certain places, and then to do the third man runs. And with their actually very good wide players to switch the play on us. You know what I mean? And to get shots off, to be comfortable. They've got two wide guys. I forgot their names, but the two wide guys. Both of them are really comfortable on the ball. And then I've got obviously Solanke, Liverpool guy who went to Liverpool, from Chelsea to Liverpool, and now he's at Bournemouth. He scored, fantastic. And he could have had more at Old Trafford. He missed a couple of chances, clear-cut chances at Old Trafford. So if my memory serves me right, he could have had a hat-trick on that day. So they're all going to be like rubbing their hands. Yeah, Manchester United. We've actually playing even worse than when we actually play them right now in terms of the shots that we face. So yeah, listen, I told Scamacca about everybody, man. I told everybody about Scamacca. So big up to Scamacca. Man deserves his flowers. Everybody thought he was horrendous. I told everybody and their nan that him going to West Ham was the worst thing he could have done because David Moyes ruined strikers. Big up Lali Rashid, man. Eid Mubarak to everybody worldwide, man. All of everybody, yeah. Eid Mubarak. And those of you who had a wonderful Easter as well. Happy Easter to all of you. In here, we had 2 weeks. In the UK, we got 2 weeks of holiday from university, from schools, from all forms of education for 2 weeks off in this country. Yeah, so big up to everybody. Love and light. Yeah, so Bournemouth, for me, I expect similar tactics. What got them the success, they're going to try to repeat. The question is, what are Manchester United going to do different? And I go to Lesso and I go to Jarvis. Go ahead, Lesso. What do you think Manchester United are going to do different?
You know, that's one hard question to answer. You know, I think it's hard, but at the same time, it's very easy. You know, you want him to change. You want Ten Hag to change, you know, the way he sets up and everything. But, you know, we say this game in, game out. You know, he keeps doing the same things. He keeps repeating the same mistakes. So for me, I expect more or less, like you said, I expect more or less the same sort of lineup, but same tactics. We're gonna concede a lot of shots as we always do, because there's no we basically press up and then we play a low block. It seems he doesn't want to get out of that phase. And yeah, man. I mean, now with injuries, Varane not gonna even be there, so it's just the worst part of the season to for us as Man United fans to see, and expect us to actually stink out the place. As usual, we probably gonna try and play the whole basketball formation as well as tactics. We basically gonna be playing total football with no defensive you know like any defensive cover or anything. So these guys are basically gonna let Onana face a lot of shots, as he's been facing this season, the entire season. The defense is a shambles. He's possibly going to maybe try some of the youngsters, because I've seen some of them have actually trained. So I'm thinking there's a word. I'm sure he got the word. I'm sure Tanakh did get the word that he may be gone, or he's close to being gone in the summer, because we saw this with Van Gaal as well towards his closer days, where a lot more youngsters were becoming involved in the team setup. So for him to say that maybe he leaves a legacy behind, because now the thing is, I don't see how he's coming back from this. I mean, we're not winning the FA Cup. At the moment, I don't see us even winning this game. You can't even be confident in what we're going to do. We may stink it out and somehow get a win. We've seen us get crazier results, so I'm not ruling us out of actually getting 3 points. As bad as that may sound, we may just be in luck, and they may miss many chances. We may score, and we just outscore them. And that's how we basically have been playing. So I think that's how it's gonna go until the end of the season. I don't see him being trying to play a low block and then try and hit them on the counter. I don't see us personally doing that. I see us trying to actually outscore the opposition and letting them get as many shots at us as well. So tough.
Hey, go ahead, Jarvis. What can we do different tomorrow?
So yeah.
What can we do different tomorrow from what we've done? Because they're gonna come out and know what to expect. Actually, we've even gone worse than last time. We weren't facing as many shots regularly when we played them last time as we are right now, Jarvis. So what do Manchester United change?
Yeah, the thing is, we know they will be pragmatic, Bournemouth, and it will be a tough game. They will sit back. They will try to absorb our chances. The thing is, when you play against a mid block or a low block, you got to be patient and you have to be precise. You have to have tempo on the ball in your passing play. And you need to be precise, and you need to cherish possession. You can't just keep giving away the ball, trying the hero ball. You have to be able, if you have the low block there, you have to be able to play around it over and over again and take your chances when there's openings. But the openings are really small. There's tight areas when you play against the low blocks. So you need to be precise in a way. So a lot of the game tomorrow, on Saturday, will be on Bruno, because Bruno, he don't cherish possession and he tries too many difficult things, being the creator in a way. This is why I would like to see Mason Mount come in for Casemiro, and we play with 2 number 8s, Bruno and Mason Mount, because I think Mason Mount is a better ball player in a way, and I think he can help out and maybe calm down Bruno a little bit. The biggest problem of the game will be that Maguire will be the guy playing out from the back. If Bournemouth is a little bit smart, they will try to press us when we are building up, just to cut us off and almost force Maguire to play a long ball, or Onana to play a long ball on Hojlund, and just pack in Hojlund and win the ball over and over again. We could see it against was it Brighton? They did a lot of this. They just stopped our build up play. So this is what I expect. Iraola is an astute manager. I respect him very highly, and I believe he will point out these flaws in our play and try to exploit them. If we are going to win, I think we have to be more patient. We can't rely on what we have been doing the last couple of games against Chelsea and Liverpool with the ultra direct play, the extreme transition, try to play with high tempo and chaos all over the pitch. You call it kamikaze football, Nuruddin, and I don't think the kamikaze football will work against a team like Bournemouth. We have to be more I would say better in position. We just have to try to be the better team. This is what we have been struggling with for, I would say, the last 10 years, dominating the opposition against the weaker teams. And tomorrow is another, or Saturday is another test.
Sorry, Saturday, yeah. I didn't mean
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday.
So this is Ten Hag's problem. How will he change the mindset of these players, turn them around to cherish possession yet again after 2 games with ultimate chaos? So for me, I think we will struggle.
Yeah. Bumbaye, go ahead. What should we do different? Because that was the humiliating defeat at home. They absolutely picked our pockets and
don't remind us, man. We've seen it. We don't remind us. That is stuck in the memory, which is probably why this will be quite a good show. We all remember exactly what we're talking about. Is there a correlation between the goals that we're scoring and the chances that we're conceding? Has Erik ten Hag basically decided to just go for it more and think he's going to outscore teams? I think maybe you can observe something there. As you just mentioned, Nura, the fact before the advent of the conceding of 25 shots a game, we were a very low scoring, low chance creating team. All of a sudden we are quite free scoring, but it comes at a cost. So it's about Erik ten Hag understanding the idea of calculated risk. And that comes from balance, which I think he has not managed to find. And this was at the beginning of the season. Now we're playing with 6 attackers and 3 defenders. So, and he's pursuing this at this stage of the season, and he's basically going for it. So, Erik ten Hag, I think I like what both Lesso said. It's not a question, what will he do different? He has to do something different. But then again, we are doing something different. This is a different Man United team, as I said. We are scoring a lot of goals, taking more risk, but it's coming at a cost. Now, the reason we lost the game last time was I thought there were spells in that game where we did hold the ball and we did pick moments, but we were terrible. What they did was pick us off by doing a mid to low block. We lose possession, and as Jarvis mentioned, that was the Achilles heel. They scored on the break. But if they press us high, there's going to be no break. If we're all back and they're going to press high and we go long, then we're going to have men back by the time that they want to come at us, I think. So it'll be a different game. I think we can win this game. But I like the idea of Mason Mount. I really do like the idea of Mason Mount playing with Bruno in the midfield. And maybe, you know, if you want to put Mainu in there, you can. If you want to put Casemiro and just say, look, today, just say, if you get shredded, you're used to it anyway, but we're going to try and hold possession. You could go with different things against this Bournemouth team if they're going to do a mid to low block, because that means we've got possession and the idea is to keep it, as Jarvis explained, shift them side to side. We've been all right with the fullbacks getting in behind. That has actually been pretty decent. And Rashford and Garnacho and Anthony using them before earlier in the season, they weren't. They were just decoys and they got fed up of making those runs. So there are things that we can utilize in this game to make it go in our favor. How will it go? I don't know, but I am interested to see it because of what happened the first time. I do believe this is a different Manchester United team if Erik ten Hag will just keep doing what he's been doing, which I think he will. 7 games to go. Perhaps he's resigned to the inevitable, or maybe not. But you know, you're not going to change and revolutionize the whole way that we've been playing recently. He just keeps going for it and going for it and going for it, and he's adamant it's going well. So that's my assessment of it. I can't tell you what we're going to get, but I am very intrigued.
By Tom, what are you expecting? What are you expecting from Manchester United tomorrow? And then I'll run down through a couple of things.
Saturday, you mean?
Yeah, what are we expecting on this game on Saturday night, 5 o'clock UK time?
Probably
They battered us. Let's be honest, they battered us. They gave us a beating.
I remember that game very well. It were a game where that was the game where I was completely done with Erik ten Hag. Funnily enough, on that game, I even was planning to go to the game in the end, and I had I had to cancel last minute because I had a family emergency and I couldn't go to the game. And I'm really fucking happy. I'm really fucking happy and glad I didn't even go to that game then, because it would have done your head in. But at the end of the day, what do I expect from this game? Listen, we're probably going to go to the seaside coast and get shot on, like we always do. When we go, we've been to Brighton. We've been to Bournemouth before, and we've played shit and got shot on. It happens. And look, the way that Bournemouth play, like Jarvis outlined, and the perfect game to show how they play was actually against us when they battered us 3-0. It was sit in the mid block and then transition into the low block when they don't have the ball. Then when they can grasp what the opposition what they're actually up against in the game, they almost come out of their shell, and then they actually want to play a little bit. They don't mind keeping the ball and keeping a bit of possession. They've got decent link-up players. As much as you guys have praised Scamacca, I think a lot of their wide players as well, I think are quite good, based upon the sort of areas that they drift into as well, and when they can get the balls in the box to Scamacca. But one thing that I think as well that's underrated with Bournemouth is I think they're quite drilled on set pieces. Every single opportunity, from a throw-in, corner, free kick, I think they're very drilled. And especially from what we know with Manchester United anyway, whether it's from a free kick or a corner or whatever it is, we always leave that space on the edge of the box for a player just to have a ping at it. And the cutback is our worst nightmare in our season. And if we're going to concede any goal against this Bournemouth team on Saturday, that's the one goal that I would expect us to concede. If we're going to concede, if you concede a cutback in those sort of areas, Bournemouth can kill you. They have very good strikers and connectors of the ball who can easily just ping it, see you later. Onana probably won't even get near it to dive towards it. But the thing, like I say, with us is, I agree with what Lesso said in the aspect of, I think Ten Hag's almost come reserved to, let's compete in a game against people. I almost necessarily think it is that he's going to revert back to what he'd done against Liverpool, where in the FA Cup, where it was just, well, we're already cut open as it is anyway. The game's going to be open. So if we're going to leave the back door open, we might as well just go full throttle. But the problem is, if he wants to go with that method, if he actually changed the formation and he went for that method, it wouldn't actually be a bad solution to our problems that we've had recently, where we're not winning games. Because I think we have the firepower at the top end of the pitch on any given day when they're all clicking and they're entwined, guys. I saw it last season when they can outscore teams. I saw it last season and we were playing shit football, but we found a way to outscore teams. So if you go to Bournemouth and not necessarily, it sounds ridiculous me saying it, go toe to toe with them. If you can drag them out of that mid block and low block, and like I said, when I agreed with what Jarvis said, is they come out of it in parts when they get to grips with who they're playing against and what what's actually in front of them, they'll actually start playing football. When you can drag them out of that, that's where you find your margins in the game. The space opens up when you can actually get it, such as Bournemouth. That's the only thing that I say. But I like, even as Iraola as a coach anyway, to be fair to him, I think he's done quite a decent job. They're on a budget. They're a very watertight football club, Bournemouth. They've only just been taken over. They've had new ownership put in. They put a decent chunk of money in. They got rid of Gary O'Neill under, as we said before, unchewed circumstances, but it's worked out at the other end for them. But in terms of the way that we want to play the game, like I say, there's no style of play, guys. There's no plan. There's no real thought process. I agreed what Bumbaye said with the young players, and that it is very similar to what happened with Van Gaal. I don't know if there's been a word in Ten Hag's ear or not to say, look, let's see the season out and on a high or whatever, and give some players a chance. But look, guys, I'll be very honest with you. I think we're going to go to the seaside. I think we're going to get shat on. I honestly do, and I don't have much hope. And when you're playing against Bournemouth, I think that's no disrespect to Bournemouth, but I think that is a massive lacker of confidence. But with the way that we've played all season, guys, we either shit on teams or we get shat on. And more or less times we get shat on this season. But if it's anything to go by what they did at Old Trafford, hold fucking tight. But with how close-knit, like somebody put here, like Jake Harrison's put here, with how close-knit that ground is, if they get 2 or 3 up, the crowd will want more and more. And you might get that little bit of a feeling of, oh, fuck, are we at Brentford again, like we had last season? And it will be one of those sort of games where you're starting to think from Man United, oh, shit. But like I say, team selection and everything, we all know what's going to happen anyway, guys. But I agree with what Lasso said anyway. I think if we go into the game and it's end-to-end, by all means, I'd take us chances. But I think that's the only way that you win the game. You just play to your own weakness, which is just keep the game open.
Exactly. Anytime we try to defend, we can't hold the lead anyway. We're crap at holding the lead.
Well, that's what I mean. We need to score to get ahead then, don't we? A couple of goals ahead or whatever. And then let's hope we don't shit the bag. And then we don't get shot on at the seaside. But
is it the Magpies? The Magpies are coming for us, yeah?
No, the cherries is Bournemouth, isn't it?
Called?
Yeah, cherries.
Yeah, what's the bird called? The birds that are the seaside. What are they called? Magpie,
oh, the seagulls. Seagulls. That's Brighton, though. That's Brighton.
Yeah. Seagulls. Well, yeah, the seagulls will be shitting on us, no problem. But big up to everybody. So in terms of injuries, what we know so far in it, so Bournemouth will be out without Tavernier, who's been one of their best players this season.
Yeah.
Luis Sanseri, both of them are injured, actually. 2 of their best players. Luis Sanseri and Tavernier are injured. Ryan Fredericks is injured as well. Tyra Adams,
he used to play for Leeds, yeah.
Tyler Adams has also had back problems. Antonio Somenso, I don't know what his problem is. Chris Malin is ill, and he might be fit for the game. But they welcome back Lloyd Kelly and Marcus Sensi will be fit for this game. So we'll see. It's going to be very interesting because they got really decent players who know the system. It took this manager, Areola, it took him about 2 months to get used to the Premier League and the pace of it. But as soon as he patterned down a style of play, the players all everybody knows their job. Boom. They're on to finish for the top half finish this season. To finish highest that they've ever finished. And actually, they've only lost 2 games out of the 11 games they've had at home. They got smashed by Liverpool 4-0 and they lost 1-0 to Man City. And that 1-0 was it wasn't a thrashing, but Liverpool got them on the counter and smashed them. They caught Liverpool on a bad day. But in terms of Manchester United, Lisandro Martinez obviously out. Victor is out. Amateur Luke Shaw, we know that Malacia knee, his career might be in trouble. Martial is Martial. In terms of Rafael Varane injured, Johnny Evans is injured, Scott McTominay is injured. Rashford is injured. Amrabat wasn't spotted in training on today. So
Lindelof is injured as well.
Yeah. So say that again.
Lindelof is also out.
Yeah. Lindelof has been out. Yeah. So we've got Kumbala and Maguire having to start. Anthony might be because Rashford is not going to be fit. In terms of possible lineups for them, I think from the players that I played last time, other than the ones who got injured, will be Neto, Smith, Sensi, Kelly, Christie, Cook,
They've got a full team already, apart from Sinisterra and Tavernier. They're the only 2
They've got
key
a full
players
team apart from the 2 best wingers that they normally have.
Well, but Bastameno is playing, Sesmeno is playing, but so possible United lineup as well. Diego Dalot, obviously Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Manu, Anthony, Fernandes, Garnacho, and Hojlund. That could be, but we want to change that midfield. Where will you change? So Jarvis has already said that he would play Mason Mount and Bruno is more of a discipline role as a number 10, two number 8, sorry. Yeah. I think we've got to try that. I really think people think it's too open, but we've got to try it. We've got to try it because what we're doing now, it's not, even though Casemiro got the winner last season. Remember, Casemiro did that mad goal where he got the winner at the end. Beat them 2-1, I think. Was it 2-1 we beat them last season? Or 1-0, whatever the result was. So,
1-0, wasn't it, with Casemiro, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be a very interesting... it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game for us in terms of like what lineup. But Mumbai, what type of midfield are you picking? Are you picking the same as Jarvis? You want to try something different? At this moment, I'm sick of it. I just want to try different things. Because
I'm thinking
the stability we know, we've already been trying.
I'm thinking about this game particularly with my team selection. I'm thinking about this isn't going to be a game that's going to be stretched. We don't need people to stretch this game, in my opinion. I don't feel it's going to be that type of game. I feel we need people, because of the size of the pitch, that are going to be able to play in tight spaces and take care of the ball. So I want to give Kobbie Mainoo a rest in this game. I want to put Casemiro sitting, and I want to put Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes ahead of him to go and play together. I want to sit Garnacho out in this one. I want to bring in, I'm going to start Rashford on this game on the left. And I want to start either Anthony or Amad Diallo. They're very good in tight spaces. I think Garnacho likes to run more into space. He's good at taking space in front of him, stretching games, getting in behind and stuff like that. But I'd like to see Anthony, because the game's going to be played in front of us here. That's how I feel it's going to be. And watching Amad at Sunderland, he's got a lot to his many strings to his bow. That's why I like him, and he's brave. But he can play in tight spaces and take care of the ball quite well, and he works back really well too. So I'd like Garnacho to set this one out. We can bring him on if we need to. I'd like Kobbie Mainoo to be given a rest. This isn't because he's particularly bad or anything, but I think last few games I've noticed, he's played a lot. I felt at Brentford, they started to really get onto him. There was 2 and 3 players around him. He was getting hurried. He was getting shut down. Liverpool did the same thing against him. People are now have realised this is our outlet. This is the person that hurts the opposition by getting us playing. And you stop him, you hurt Manchester United. So rest. Casemiro can do that. It doesn't matter. We're going to get chances against us anyway, whether it's Kobbie Mainoo or Casemiro. That's the risk that we take because of the way Erik ten Hag wants to play. So, and Hojlund up front. The back four picks itself. There is no other options. Kwambala deserves to play. I'm looking forward to seeing him again. Maguire, fine. And then Wan-Bissaka on the left or the right, or the low left, right, doesn't really matter to me. I think they've both done all right when they've switched. I thought one was excellent against Liverpool other than the penalty, and Diogo's, I'm confident in him both sides really. But because it's Semenyo, I think he may put Bissaka on him because not too many people get the better of Aaron.
Yeah. Big up. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So who you playing? So you're playing Casemiro, Bruno, and Mason Mount in midfield, yeah?
Rashford on the left, Ahmad or Anthony on the right.
Rashford is
injured. Marcus is out.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah.
Oh, go down. Well, then you have to start Garnacho, unfortunately, on the left, and then you choose Anthony or Ahmad on the right.
Okay.
What a shame.
Yeah. Big up. We got Sean joining us. Big up, Sean. Forgot to send you the link. Big up. How you doing?
Big up, guys. Big up, everyone. How you guys doing?
Good evening, Sean.
Sunny California.
Sunny and good, man. I don't know what you guys like the measurement you use in the UK.
Yeah, we don't do the American way that you measure the temperature.
Fahrenheit.
We don't do that. We do.
No, we don't do Fahrenheit.
Yeah. We don't do we just do what the opposite to the Americans do. That's what we do. We can't get St. Paul.
82 is 28. That's all I know about Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Yeah.
Wow, Matthias, I haven't even said anything.
Big up to you, Sean. Yeah, Sean, we're thinking about this tomorrow. On Saturday, 5 o'clock UK kickoff. What time is that in the California? I want to check. Actually,
I think that's 7:30 a.m.
Oh
Hold
my
on.
God. So what time is that? What time is 5 o'clock UK time in South Africa? Is that like 7 o'clock in the evening?
No, actually, that's 9:30.
1 hour.
9:30 in the morning for me.
No, it's 6. Okay.
Say that again.
It's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, because are we an hour? Are you an hour forward? Yeah, an hour ahead.
Yeah, we just 1 hour forward.
Yeah.
Sean, what better reason is there to wake up early than that?
No, I mean it wouldn't be the worst now. I've been up at 6 a.m. I've been up at 4:30 a.m. for different games. Any of those games that are like noon, all those like 12 p.m. games, basically, those are like 4:30 a.m. for me. But we do it for the love of United now. So regardless.
Oh,
hopefully
sorry,
they'll
Sean.
give you some back.
You mean for the love of Eric Ten Hag?
No, for the love of United. Contrary to what many people in the comments might think, I'm a United fan first before I'm a fan of Ten Hag. When he goes, if he goes,
we're
I'll
only
still be a
teasing
United
you,
fan.
bro. We're only teasing you. It's only for the bants, lad. It's only for the bants. All right. Big up. Listen, they smashed us. What are you expecting different? You said in one of the comments, you said no excuses. Manchester
Yeah, I
United.
mean, I think unlike the Liverpool game or the Chelsea game, this might be the game that finally sacks Ten Hag, because I don't see what the excuse is for us going there and not getting 3 points. So as far as I'm concerned, it's win or bust, basically. Like regardless of the lineup, regardless of anything that's going on, primarily fundamentally, Ten Hag's job on Sunday or Saturday would be to motivate his players enough and get them to win. I'm the first to accuse the players of not putting in the effort or anything, but honestly, at this point, like there's just no excuse. Basically, that's what I'm saying. For that Bournemouth game, I don't see why we shouldn't win.
I mean, I look at their team, guys. I wouldn't take any of their players into my team. We have a better player in every single position, I think. I wouldn't take Solanke over Hojlund.
But it's not about. But I'm sorry, but it's not about having a. It's not having about a better individuals. It's about having a better team.
Of course, that's what goes to the manager. But the point I'm making is the argument in this game that I don't have the tools to do what I need to do in order to win this game is null and void.
Because I agree with you, but
we don't have a single player. Whether it's Semenyo, he's all right. That's all he is. He's all right. He's got a lot of work to do still. He's coarse in his game, but he's strong. Solanke's not better than Hojlund. There's nothing there that I look at and think, you know what, yeah, I'd take you over this player of mine. None of their players get into my team. That's what I see. So there's no excuse really in terms of quality. Yeah. But yeah, if they beat us, then you have to ask yourself why. That will be part of your post-match show.
Yeah, no, for me, if they beat us, then Ten Hag out. Like that's me laying the landmark here. Quite simply.
Wow! Okay. Sean's joined the dark side if we lose on Saturday, people. Woohoo!
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse, right? Like, there's absolutely no excuse. And because I would grant Ten Hag critics that, for me, the main critique I would have of Ten Hag is he's not holding his players, he's not keeping them honest, right? So the people that are playing nonsense, people like Bruno, people like Rashford who don't show up, like, what is he doing? Stop playing those guys. If you're watching the game, first half, first 60 minutes, you're seeing that Bruno is spamming, he's on that, he's like, spamming P. Get him out of the team, bring somebody else on. So yeah, at this point in time, like really, I don't know what, because I'm with the Ineos approach. Let's wait and see. Let's watch. Let's see how we end the season.
Wait to see FC. Here we go.
So if we don't turn up on against Bournemouth, like as much as the players will be responsible, I think honestly, like, the definition of insanity, as we say, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And if Ten Hag hasn't learned that some of these players will keep betraying him, then honestly, at this point, it's like there's no
big up.
excuse.
Listen, Sean. So, would you change? Would you go with what Java says? Play Bruno and Mason Mount tomorrow as 2 number 8s on Saturday. Sorry, would you go with that?
No, I would drop Bruno. Personally,
So, like,
I would drop Bruno. I would keep it basically the same starting 11 versus Liverpool. Only instead of Bruno, Mason Mount, and instead of Rashford, play Anthony.
Well, Rashford is injured anyway.
Oh right, yeah.
So
okay,
let's go.
So
yeah, I'll come to you, Lesso. What kind of score you reckon tomorrow? Would you do? Would you? What Java said? Play Bruno and Mason Mount, or would you take Bruno out tomorrow, Saturday?
No, I think we should play. We might as well, like we say, we might as well go for it. We're really open, whether we have Kobe Mainoo or we have either Bruno or Mason Mount. I think if you can go with both of them, it wouldn't be a bad thing, you know. So I'm thinking that we have Bruno and Mount in midfield as well as Casemiro forming the 3 midfield pairing.
What?
Because now the thing is,
Like-
I'm also worried. No, yeah, like I'd rather like have Bruno and Mount and Casemiro, you know, in the 3. Because now the thing is, I'm looking at Kobe Mainoo, man. This may backfire on us heavily with him in terms of him playing almost, if not every game. You know, you look at what's happening at Pedri. Because I was watching what was happening with Barcelona in terms of Pedri, because he's getting injuries now. Because there was a season where we did not let him rest. He played whatchamacallit. He played the Euros, if I remember correctly. Played in the World Cup. He played in the Euros. He played in the whatchamacallit, and the league full season. You know, he was the go-to guy for every game. Barcelona were not resting him. So, you know, you must be careful with these young players. You have to give them time to recover. It's not worth it over this game. Personally, if we don't see him progress beyond this, or he ends up being injury prone. So I'd rather start with that. If obviously if things don't go well, what I'll do, obviously, you know, if things don't go well, then you have to bring him on, or you have to like sort of switch it up a little bit, play Bruno, let him fall back a little bit, play Mason Mount as the most advanced player, because Bruno does know how to play as back in midfield in that position, because he has proven to do that at Portugal. So you can play it like that. There's different ways of playing, obviously, but I feel like the most important objective is to outscore the opposition. It's not for us to try and defend, because they're already a defensive team themselves. So it wouldn't make sense for us to also try and go with the defensive way. We have to go and attack them and try and outscore them at the same time. You know?
Yeah, big up.
So, I mean,
some big up. 1 second, Sean. Let me just get this. Adewale said, "What makes United fans so confident in Hojlund?" Not to me. He showed enough in a team where it's a absolutely like there is a what we call it the graveyard shift, where we don't get any. You know, Martial used to get a lot of stick, and I told everybody that even a new striker comes in, we don't play to the strength of our strikers. For me, the biggest thing what I see from it, Adewale, is that before he was injured, he was holding the ball up. He was doing a lot better. He was creating chances for himself. I think the muscular has set him back a bit. I think it's going to be interesting. He played 90 minutes against Liverpool. He was on the pitch till the end, nearly 100 minutes. So this game, I expect his fitness. He had done a full week of training, so I expect his fitness to be up higher. So it's going to be very interesting seeing. But for me, yeah, he was a backup striker for Atlanta. But what we bought was the potential. That's what we bought. But,
yeah, and we don't have a choice now. You know, right now. I just wanted to address a couple of points that Lesson made. First one about Kobe Mainoo being young. I think the youth thing it could go both ways, right? On one hand, you could say you need to protect a young player because he's young. On the other hand, you could say that's my point is that, like, on one hand, yes, you're correct. You can't burn him out. On the other hand, you can get more out of a young player than you can out of an older player. So the youth at your young age is precisely when we should expect you to play your most games. And for every Pedri, there's a Bellingham or Fabregas who was able to come into the first team at a very young age and play consistently. So for me, without a doubt, Mainoo plays. Secondly, are we forgetting where we were at the beginning of the season with Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes? It can never ever work. Least of
I
all with
forgot. Listen, Sean, I'm sorry, but I forgot how it was because it's been that many defeats, that much drama, that many games of just. It's hard for me to keep up. Plus, in my brain to protect me has blocked it out as well as you block it out. Some of the horrendous football.
You live in denial.
Yeah, but Nuruddin, when I gave up on the
games.
season was about 5 games into the season when I saw that Ten Hag was hell bent on playing that Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes midfield combination. It would never work. Least of all with Casemiro at the base. Casemiro looks like he's playing with Timberland boots. He can't run. Like there's absolutely no way we can get away with playing with a midfield of Casemiro, Bruno, and Mason Mount. We saw it against Liverpool. We saw it against Chelsea. I don't think we should try that. We should risk that. I think Casemiro needs support either from a pacey defender or from somebody in midfield who can stay close to him. So that's why I would play Casemiro, Mainu, and Mason Mount. Mainu, I don't want him to go to the Euros, so let him get all of a summer break for himself to rest and to recover and all of that. But yeah, that Mason Mount and Bruno midfield, I think that's haram football. That's just a recipe for disaster.
Yo, big up.
Unless it works, I will see.
What the score's going to be tomorrow? What's the score going to be tomorrow?
For the game versus Bournemouth?
Yeah. Sorry, on Saturday, not tomorrow. Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, we have to win. So, I'll say 2-0 or 3-1.
Okay, that's good. Let's all go ahead quickly. What's the score do you think tomorrow? Get your scores in, people. Your score predictions.
3-2.
Wow.
3-2 to Man United. Or 3-2 to Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think it will be a low scoring game. 1-0 United or 1-0 Bournemouth. Either way, the team who scores the first goal, I believe. I think we will struggle trying to beat down the low block, mid block, and I don't see where the goals is coming from. Actually, this is the problem because we can't believe that Garnacho will run in behind because there won't be any space to run into, and we will bang our head against the wall in a lot of the time. But we can't be overconfident attacking too because they know they will try to hit us on the counter and they will set up traps when we build a play. So this is a difficult task. So for me, who will score the goals when we try to grind them down in a way? Masterpiece from Kobe Mainu again, or could Mason Mount score a howler, with a long shot? I don't know, but I don't think it will be a lot of goals. 1-0.
Bumbaye?
I'll go for 2-1 Manchester United. I think we might see a goal from outside the area, Bruno or Mason Mount. And I've not seen enough of that. I know what Sean is saying. It didn't look pretty at the start of the season, but I think when Mason Mount played at the very beginning of the year, that was the embryonic part of Erik ten Hag deciding to go with 6 attackers and 3 defenders effectively. So I think this is a different team that Bournemouth will face. And if Areola, I think Areola will recognise that and he should make the necessary adjustments to exploit Man United. But this is a different team. And I don't feel I saw enough of the Bruno and Mason Mount. And I'd like to see them now that we are getting forward, that we are taking a lot more risk and committing forward in a game like this, because I feel that we are going to see a bit of the ball. And if we protect it well and we shift it, as Jarvis explained, and we shift them, we can create openings. And I think hopefully it will be all right. I'm going for 2-1 or 3-1 to United.
Yeah, big up. Tom?
I think it'll be 1-1 draw, to be honest with you.
Okay. Big up to you, right? Let's get into the super chat quickly. Big up to Adiwale, always for the super chats. Nuruddin, United fans think it's overhyped players we buy. They do this with every thing. 100% agree. Just because players sign to United, they don't just become better overnight. We need to be more realistic. 100%. I agree with you. As a general point, 100%. We overhype every youth player as well. It's not just. That's why, honestly, the amount of videos I could make. I was telling Jarvis, will tell you. I was talking about Manu, Kobe Manu, and have you seen us? I don't talk about it. I don't do videos. I did a video on him way long time ago when I was watching him in the youth team. You know what I mean? So I decided, I was like, damn, I better just slow down because I don't want to overhype this player. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing. I try to be responsible. Same thing about Willie Kambala. I don't want people to be overhyping him. But he's actually, the biggest thing what surprised me is how good he is at this level in the game against Liverpool. How good he was playing out from the back. He gave the ball away at times, but his passing through the lines was super impressive. A lot better than Maguire's, a lot better than Lindelof's, or Varane's, or Johnny Evans. A lot better than those guys. More assured, more confident. But I agree with you, fundamentally, 100%. That's what, listen, because that's the club we are, PR. We're a club that's run by PR. If PR was a trophy, no matter if PR was a league title, we'd be champions every season, no problem. We will win that trophy, PR trophy, every season. And we're going to come into a couple of more things anyway, but big up to you, love and light. So my old nemesis in the first team in terms of the recruitment department, the guy that I told everybody is going to be Wait and CFC, the guy that I told everybody about how he's just there to basically shield Joe Glazer and the bankers. He's left. Finally, he's left this week. Mr. John Murtaugh. John Murtaugh. Ta-da! Good riddance, my friend. I thank you for what you did, because I'm objective, for what you did with the youth team. I thank you for what you did setting up the women's team, which was reluctant. The Glazers were very reluctant to do that. But I'm grateful to you what you did for those two departments. But when you moved up to first team, I know it's difficult working for the Glazers. I know it's difficult working for the bankers. But you decided to go and put yourself in the big boy pants and the big boy shoes to go there and shield the bankers and the Glazers. And you were trending, and rightly so. People like me were calling you out constantly. So ta-ra, ta-ra, ta-ra. Take care, pal. Any comments for Murtaugh? Any comments?
Where's he going? Where's he going next, Nuruddin? He's already been on his piss up round Europe.
Oh my God,
Where's
guys! Have I got something to show you? Guys, have I got something to show you? Oh my God! Oh my God! I can't believe it. I forgot to put it as part of the title of the show. Have I got something to show you? Guess who's a trustee of Bloomberry football team?
Who is it, Nuruddin? We can't see.
There's only one.
Ed Woodward.
Looks like fucking Ed Woodward.
There's only one classic banker. Please Google Bloomberry. Small team. A friend, actually, my friend's son actually plays for them. My friend's son plays for them, or used to play for them, or plays for them.
Where is it? Whereabouts is it though?
In London, down London.
Oh, it's London, is it?
Bloomberry, yeah. Google Bloomberry. Bloomberry, yeah. Bloom.
And what is he? What is he?
He is a trustee. He's got a job as a trustee.
So you go from Man United CEO to a trustee.
Yeah. So the post reads, let me read it for you. It says, we got big news. This is on their little Instagram, yeah, Bloomberry football. We got big news. The former chief executive of Manchester United, Ed Woodward, is joining Bloomberry football team as a trustee. This is a huge move for Bloomberry, and Ed has worked with some of the world's best managers.
Why are you pissing on their bonfire, man? You snide. Leave him be.
He'll support our CEO Charlie at Bloomberry team to change the game for more young people in London.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any really malice involved in their incompetence, man, to the extent that they were incompetent. So
Nuruddin, you're cold,
I'm with
man.
Umaye on that.
Easy. That's not my Nuruddin, Sean. I don't know who this guy is. No.
I mean, I guess we've been looking for a staff now, for a pound of flesh.
Umaye, I'm sorry. I'm really,
on your
really
bike,
sorry.
jog on.
This is my revenge. I'm sorry. That man, that guy there, that banker, ruined.
What do you mean
my
your revenge? They're not
footballing
paying him
life.
in minimum living wage. You know what I mean? It's a
Ruined-
part-time gig. Leave him alone. Crack on.
ruined my footballing, ruined my footballing happiness in terms of Manchester United. What that guy's done to Manchester United is unbelievable. His mess can be here for the next 5-6 years. But anyway, that was the news I had for you. It's a bit of surprise.
Already, just bring on my share screen, and we can show it to the viewers for them to see the picture of Ed Woodward.
Fucking hell, it looks like a right happy chap, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, these are those guys that had the wrong idea about what it
Go
what
on,
it took.
Edward. Go on,
Listen,
Edward.
So somebody asked me about where I showed you this because somebody asked in the comments, where is Murtaugh going? I think Murtaugh might be going here.
I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised if this Bloomsbury Football Foundation, whatever it is, you know, in the next few years increases its commercial value, because that's
Maybe.
what Ed Woodward knows how to do. Unfortunately, he just wasn't the right person to lead.
The director of football at Manchester United. This guy, can you imagine?
United.
This guy was the de facto director of football at Manchester United. That just blows my mind. So good riddance to Murtaugh. Good luck to him wherever he goes. Like I said, I thank him for what he did for us in terms of the women's team.
People
and
in the
youth team.
comments,
So
come
I
up with
thank him for that.
something. What does the
Well-
ASK on the Bloomsbury shirt stand for? Who's got some quick wit? I can't think of anything.
I don't know.
ASK.
I don't know what it means.
ASK.
Yeah, who's got some
Ask.
witty humour
It
for
says
us?
ask.
Ask Ed.
I
Ask
saw
Ed, mate.
I saw on the news today that Sir Jim met with the lady in charge of Newcastle, face-to-face meeting
Amanda
to
Staver.
to push for Dan Ashworth to come. It looks like, I mean, so I'll just say like good signs from Ineos, I think, in terms of what they and I've heard you on other channels, Nuruddin, talk about how you don't really get how somebody with 25% can have this much control.
No.
I mean it's simply a
long?
function of what's in the deal, right? Because in any board, they're usually like, sometimes they're silent people, there's some people that have so there's a difference between the actual shares you have, the monetary value of shares, and the function that you're entitled to within the company. So those are all things that can be negotiated, basically. So for me, it's entirely reasonable that Ineos could have negotiated a deal where they got footballing control. Obviously, this would be like thick documents where everything is defined right down to exactly what it means. But I don't think it's strange or it's far-fetched that 25% gives you control over football operations.
No. I mean, even with Amanda Staver at Newcastle, she and her husband, they both run Newcastle day to day, but they just use the Saudis' money to fund it. That's effectively their partnership there. They have Amanda Staver and her husband, and I think it's the Reuben brothers, both own a 10% share of the club. So they own 20% unitedly together, and then the other 80% is made up of the Saudi Arabian Consortium Fund. But the way that their ownership structure works is the Saudi Arabians fund Amanda Staver and her partner and the Reuben brothers to basically run Newcastle day to day, but they just keep hold of the purse strings of whatever happens with the football club. And they finance everything. The players, the stadium, any developments, local projects, everything's funded by Saudi Arabia. But that's the way that they were able to pass it through the Premier League. But with Sir Jim anyway, when he's doing all these sort of things, guys, where he's doing all these, backdoor deals, where he's negotiating compensation for Barada, and clearly that went well because they managed to get him straight away, and they've got him out of City, and they put him on gardening leave. You've got Jason Wilcox here who's on gardening leave. You've got fucking Dan Ashworth who's on gardening leave. We've basically got all these gardeners doing all this fucking gardening leave, guys. But in the meantime, there's not the structure in it.
Listen,
that's the problem.
Gardening leave FC, mate. That's what we are.
But there's no time. The problem with this, with all of this, Nuruddin, is we have all of these different people. Barada, we know for definite, is coming in the summer. That's a fact. But in terms of Wilcox and Ashworth, and listen, they'll probably want to bring in these people that we're bringing in. Will want to make their own appointments to different positions, arguably they probably will want to do that. So then you're going to have to take more time out of your day to then go and get all these other people that want to work as understudies for their senior, effectively. But the problem that we have right now, guys, is we have an upcoming summer window. We don't necessarily, well, if we're looking off of what we're seeing in the media anyway, I think it's pretty clear that there's Ineos's eyes are more on the manager market than they are on keeping Erik ten Hag, based upon what we're seeing anyway, in terms of the links and rumours to different managers. If we look at it from now, I think it's pretty clear that, you know, I think Sir Jim's desperate to get Dan in, because he's even prepared to go and personally meet Amanda Staveley and all the directors at Newcastle to try and sweeten something over and get him to come in early. They've pissed about with Southampton, clearly, that they've enraged them to the point where Wilcox didn't even mutually agree to go. He just resigned on them and said that I'm going anyway, and they couldn't agree the compensation for it. We don't necessarily, right now, guys, the future in the short term is very cutthroat and slim. And that's why when people are getting on the bandwagon and saying that Ineos are going to make all these hostile changes and everything, they're not going to really do. I don't think a lot's going to change in the short term, based upon we don't even know when Ashworth's going to come in. Most likely, as it stands right now, he's going to have to see out this gardening leave, which reportedly, anyways, until January, and then you're going to be a whole summer window without him, and arguably you're probably going to be the exact same. He's not going to influence that January window either. So you're already losing 2 windows without him, who would lead your recruitment. It was basically Murtaugh's replacement. You're going to have a CEO in place, but a CEO reportedly anyway isn't going to sign the players. He's just going to negotiate the deals for the players. So what are we actually going to? We're basically going into the alleyway dark.
Yeah, but Tom, at that level.
Say this quickly. All I see from Ineos is more PR and more PR and more
it's
PR.
Talk, really. That's the problem. They talk so much, they're talking so much.
It looks like a lot of action to me as well now. I mean, I think you guys should be a bit more generous. At this level of executive hiring and firing, and right? It is.
Listen, I've dealt with Woodward and Neil Ashton PR, and all he's done is continue that. That's all they're doing. If you're gonna do something,
fundamentally, the structure of the club has changed. Like fundamentally, the things that we all wanted to see: director of football, better operations, best in class.
I don't believe all of that BS class business. We just want competent people. Exclude Jim Ratcliffe's had face-to-face talks with Newcastle corner. Listen, at the end of the day, all I know is that Manchester United officially have hired Omar Barada, and he can start on the 1st of July, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's all we know. That's all we know. That's all all this gardening BS business, I'm not about it. But
when do you know this, though?
Listen to me.
But it's not BS now.
I just want to. It's to me BS because every day there's an update. Every day there is, and nothing has moved and nothing's happening. So for me, until I see it, it is pure bullshit to me, and it's part of the PR machine. Clickbaiting fans.
Wait, so Omar Barada was BS until we signed him?
No. That was quick. That was actually quite a ninja. That was quite quick. That was done. Oh, he was linked for the day. Next day,
Dino, is your
next day we had a date when he was going to start. Remember that, Jarvis.
Bro, is your problem with it?
We linked with this guy. Listen, we linked with this guy.
The constancy of the updates.
Manchester United. Let me finish the Mumbai, please. Let's not speak over each other. Then the next day, he resigned. He's decided to join Manchester United. Man City let him go. Boom. Exactly the day after we knew the date that he was going to start. That was it. With this other Wilcox and Ashworth, it's been a fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. 20 million.
I mean, guys.
No. Come on. No. This. I mean,
let me finish, please.
We're talking about recruiting an executive here. It's very complex.
Sean, I don't care.
That's what you would say now.
Sorry, Sean. Keep it shush like you did with Barada. You did that with Barada, right? It was hush. It was no negotiating, none of this. It was hush. 2-3 days, bang, done. There you go. We know the start date.
But you don't know who is leaking it, right? So obviously, Newcastle are not happy.
It's the club that's leaking this shit. And
even you don't know that.
Listen to me. Sean, Jim's done more podcasts than he's done stuff for to sign the structure of football for Manchester United.
Okay, I guess at
signed
this
one
point
person.
now, yeah.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
he's only signed one person. That's Omar Barada, and the rest of it is all talk. It's all talk. So I just want to move on quickly. I can sense and I feel I've got receipts for Eric Ten Hag, and I want to just go on. Listen, I want to go around everybody and ask them this question. Eric Ten Hag, in his first season when he was brought in at Manchester United manager, we were away in Australia. He was asked about Manchester United promising youth players. And he was like, no, Manchester United need to sign players. We need to get players in. I actually agree with him at that time, right? So he was a guy that was mainly saying, no, Manchester United need experience. This is the Premier League. Premier League is a tough league. You know what I mean? Premier League is men. I need grown men of experience to come and join this. Since the last, first of all, Eric Ten Hag's not going to be the first or going to be the last manager or a coach that ever does that. When they become under pressure, find out there's certain like connection with youth players in terms of like club like Manchester United, where the connection with youth is part of our history from the Busby Babes to the class of 92 to the players that we produced throughout the years, even the likes of Joan O'Shea's, Wes Browns, Darren Fletcher's, who've done and had amazing careers at Manchester United and actually had a decent professional career somewhere else. But what I've been seeing for the past 3 to 4 weeks, right, or months, since he's been struggling, is to use the youth as a clutch moment to try to emotionally manipulate the fans. And I'm sorry, I'm going to fucking call that out. I'm going to call it out because I know what it is. I know what it is because he wasn't banging on about youth at the beginning of the season, in the middle of the season. Now that the shit has hit the fan and he's becoming under pressure and he's concussed, pick up Musa, concussed, he's like a rabbit in the headlights. He thinks, what can I use to bring me all United fans to go, yeah, no, definitely, yeah. To use youth players as a clutch. I'm sorry. I reject that BS. I reject it for what it is. It's that you are concussed. You are like a rabbit in the headlights. You don't even know what the F you're saying. And now you're using the youth because you know Manchester United since the 1930s, those of you who don't know, we've had a youth player in every matchday squad. As far as I'm concerned, nobody in world football or in Europe does that I know about. So that could be my ignorance. There might be other clubs in the world who are doing that. There might be other clubs in the UK that are doing that. Maybe other clubs in the continent who are doing that in Europe. Maybe other clubs in Latin America or in Africa or wherever, or Asia, where on the global game, they're doing that. But I don't know about it. Manchester United, since the 1930s, for almost 80 years, right, if I'm not mistaken, Manchester United have had, I repeat, for every matchday squad, they've had a youth player in that matchday squad. So he's using this thing now to go, look, this is what it could be. And in one of the interviews, he was like, he knows he's under pressure. And when the journalist asked him, what is there? Is there something? He's like, yeah, there's great talent here. I've got so much to work with. No, Eric Ten Hag, I'm sorry. The biggest thing to me, Eric Ten Hag has to leave at the end of the season is because he burns players out. Because he doesn't get into his head that this is not the fucking Eredivisie. This is the most physically demanding league in world football, right? And that he doesn't get into his head that he's going to burn players out. So I do not want these young players to get injured. The next player I think is going to get injured is going to be out for a bit for a muscle injury. I'm gonna predict it. It's going to be Garnacho, or it could be Kobe as well, because he's playing these players into the ground, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. So it needs to be called out. But please, this is what football is about. Feel free to put me in my place. Feel free to disagree with me.
Yeah, Nuruddin, I think the conclusion I've come to is that, like, you know, you sound like the lady that has been scorned by lovers in the past, and so is just totally turned off to men. So at this point, there's nothing that Ten Hag or Ineos or Sir Jim could possibly say that would convince you that it's not PR or BS. All you want to see is the results. So keeping with my lady analogy, all she would care about is the ring on her finger. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Ten Hag has said. I think it's true that United has a rich history of bringing up young players, that's something to celebrate. I don't see a conspiracy to manipulate United fans by saying something, to make us happy. I think he genuinely believes what he's saying, and it's not that big a deal.
Wait, there's also a thing. There's like reports that came out that the players actually doubt the fact that he's gonna be here beyond the season. In the way that in his demeanor has changed, everything has changed about him. He used to be confident, and now he's sort of like knows that his fate is sort of sealed or something like that. Because you look at everything. These guys are only making sure that they're looking for managers rather than trying to push these your director of football roles and technical director role as well. Most news that is coming out is about the managers. There's always a poll about which manager would we like to have. So I'm thinking that that's them also. Again, that's the club also pushing the PR. They actually want to sack this guy, and it's the same thing we saw with Van Gaal just before the final days. There was already managers linked. The Mourinho thing was always lurking. Every day you always saw that link. There was that link. There's this manager linked with us. There's that manager linked with us. So I think he's gone, man. And players know that. They practically know that he's probably gone right now. And I feel like his last hurrah is basically just bringing in youngsters. This is what's been happening with all our managers, by the way. It's not just him. He's not the first one to do it. So expect more or less a similar approach. I think the club will try. What they'll do, they'll try and bring in a coach, not a manager. They'll try and bring in a coach who's going to come in here and coach with whatever he has and implement a system. And they're going to buy him players. I don't think they want someone who's going to be telling them, I don't want this player, I don't want that player, I want this player, I want that player. They're going to practically use the Brighton sort of model, in what De Zerbi's doing. He doesn't even know some of the players that they buy him. He's only seen them for the first time when they arrive on the training pitch. So I foresee it's the same thing at Man United at the moment. He's gone. Like, people should not be even, I don't think we should even be stressing anymore about, this guy's gonna do this or do that. He's gone, man. And we should be trying to look forward to what's gonna happen next season, because now I'm interested to seeing what Ineos is gonna do next. Because for me, it's all about actions. Like Noureddin said, it's all about action. We have to see specifically what these guys' next moves are. And then if we see these people right there and in the holding the shirt, obviously they won't be holding the kit number shirts or whatever, but presented to the press and everything, and they're there and they're starting their jobs, and we have a new manager and we have a new way of playing. That's the only way I can only be positive. I can't be positive by names. I have to see actions.
You're on mute.
Jarvis, go ahead. You disagree with me about the youth thing? That's how I feel it. Sean can use that analogy about I'm a woman looking for a ring or whatever.
No, just a woman who has been scoring in the past and is now cynical.
Listen, you could use that. I am like that. I'm sorry. I've dealt with Manchester United for the last 19 on the Glazer.
Yeah, that's precisely my point. Yeah,
I am cynical about everything. For me, he is banging on that, but feel free to disagree with me. All I'm hearing is after games in the press conference when they ask him about young players, he's like, something for me to put my hat on. Yeah, the young players, they've got amazing potential. Shut up, man. Where were you at the beginning of the season? You weren't talking about young players. You weren't talking about it when you first came into the club, so behave yourself. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, cynicism is the first step to the truth. It's 100% much better than being naive. So big up Noureddin. And but the thing is,
two sides of the same coin, Jarvis.
Yeah, but is Ten Hag running the PR? That's my question. He's talking. The journalists are asking him questions, and now the narrative is the youth. With United, because Kwambala came in this team, and we already have Mainu Garnacho. even Hojlund and Ahmad are youngsters in a sense. So now the narrative is we have a young team, and Ten Hag is like the master of bringing in youth. I don't know if it's Ten Hag's PR trick and his last clutch straw trying to save his job. But the thing is, what I've seen from Ten Hag lately, he looks a little bit annoyed when in the pressers. I think he knows that something is going on, and I feel he sense that he don't have the backing from Ineos. So I will be very surprised if Ten Hag is kept in the chair. The only thing I can see is Ten Hag keeping his job for just one more season, and they let him run down his contract just because of FFP and spending and stuff like that. We don't want to spend any money on a new manager, and they will set up a structure and say to Ten Hag, this is how we want football to be played. These are the plays we are bringing in, so deal with it. If you're not, we will find another one. So this is how I see the future, and I think Ten Hag is a manager who wants to be in control. The one thing that brought him into the job was his veto. He wanted the veto, and they gave it to him. So I don't think we will see Ten Hag getting a new contract at least, but maybe he will stay here for one more year. So people, you better prepare for another season of Ten Hag. And another thing, when it comes to Ten Hag, it's very hard for me to assess him because of all these injuries. I know a lot of you just see it as excuses in a way, and he has a lot of faults. But for me, I feel it's very difficult because I've seen good things from Ten Hag and I've seen bad things from Ten Hag. And can he improve? Who knows? Oh, you're on mute again.
You're on mute.
You know why I unmute myself? I've got ADHD and I'll be disrupting everybody. So when I unmute myself, I'm saying things, just try to disrupt you guys. And then I'm like, no, it's muted. Nobody can hear me.
Hey, kudos to you, man. I like that.
I do it, man. I do it. Irfan, big up for the super chat. He says, you all would have been Ferguson out in the first 3 years. That's the truth. Yeah, respectively, Ferguson, to be fair, was doing a lot in the Manchester United Football Club, in what he was buying, where we've become from. And I think at that time he deserved the patience. But if it wasn't for that Mark Robbins goal, we would never know that banner was in the away end. Fergie, you know what I mean? Get Fergie out of the football club. But I'm afraid Fergie would rotate. Fergie would not play people into the ground. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Fergie was one of the best rotators. So they call him Thinker Man. He would always surprise and pick on.
But Nuruddin, he has a good point now. Social media wasn't available at the time.
You know what we would do? We would, honestly, Jarvis will tell you, amount of times we would sit down to watch a game and then we would go, what the hell? Where is that player? Where's that
were you guys there at the beginning of Fergie's tenure? What?
Jarvis was.
Wow. Okay.
Jarvis was, mate. Jarvis was there. Yeah, Jarvis can give us a bit of insight. But big up for you for the super chat. I think football has changed now in terms of where we've been. And Manchester United need to get with the modern times, mate. Even though I do stress that, and I do concede when I tell people that only 3 managers have won the league title with Manchester United. Only 3. 2 of them, and one of them was one of the old guys. See, Ernest something his name is, yeah. So only 3 guys. So that means that Manchester United have to give a control to a manager to fully get this club to challenging for a Premier League title or for a league title. But I'm afraid Erik ten Hag, the attributes that he has, burning players out, try to go for these mad trophies, is a big one for me. Vacating the midfield in one of the most testing team for a team that's not physical and that's not a passing team to be going man for man, going player for player all over the pitch. I find that ludicrous what he's trying to do. It's suicide. And I was here in the first 2 games, Nottingham Forest and Wolves. I came back here and I was like, what the hell is this? So at the end of the day, but Bumbaye, go ahead. Do you think I'm reaching? Do you think I'm out of order for being too cynical of what Erik ten Hag? All I'm hearing is that I'm not saying about the PR from the club. I'm saying to you, when he is being asked a question, he's like, fantastic, the future looks all this. I'm like, nah, you ain't no part of the future. I do agree with Jarvis when Jarvis says he's basically, he knows he's not being back, so he's trying to manipulate the fans a little bit. I see that. That's what I see as manipulation. But go ahead, Mumbai.
I think when there's no work, you can create work. Sometimes, and different people, depending on what they do, have more of an opportunity to create and manufacture work for themselves when there's no actual work. I think when you're in the business of social media and you're in the business of media of today, it's very easy to manufacture anything that can be based on conjecture, and then it's put out to the public, and then we start having talking points about it. You know me, I don't really look at that side of football. It don't really interest me. But all I've learned in today's world is that it's simple. We're going 7 more games. If he's going to be here, he's going to be here. If he's gone, he's gone. So it doesn't matter what I think or anything. I think I'd like a new manager. If you're asking me, do I think he should stay? No, I think he should go. And that also depends on who you're bringing in. Do I think that you're overreaching? I think you are entitled to digest that information however you feel it. Whether you're biased or not, as Sean says, I don't know. Scorn experiences from before, repetition of what the club's been doing, PR, PR, PR. Maybe it changes your narrative of things and you pick up on it and you digest it that way. Fair enough. Sean has a different take. It's all fair enough to me because it is as varied and as potent as the conjecture, which is to say not very much, because I don't really get involved in something I cannot see into. Is Eric Ten Hag doing what Alex Ferguson did in the club before and revolutionising things with the youth? I've heard that. I've heard that from Rashford. I've heard that from Scott McTominay. I've heard that from a few sources, actually from their mouths, those two players. Is it true? Is it not? Is it enough? I don't know. All I know is with him, he'll be here or he won't. With Ineos, I want to give him a chance. Because if Jim Ratcliffe doesn't come in, I know all I have is the Glazers. And I know there's definitely not a possibility of change. Will something change? I like the fact that they're making and they're alluding to things that Gary Neville and Jose Mourinho have confirmed. Jose said, when I was managing, I quite liked Ed Woodward. The whole team, the whole ensemble of players, signings, everything was just me and him. There was no other conduit between me, what I need, what we think we need. There was no team, there was nothing. It was me and him. Gary Neville speaks about Manchester United is the only club out of 20 Premier League clubs that does not have a modern day footballing structure, which is unforgivable. So if somebody's come into this club and they're talking about things that we have been saying, and you're called Mr. Structure, and they're saying we need to put a team in place, not of Murtaughs and Fletchers, but of people with some pedigree. So Barada has pedigree. He's got track record. So has the guy we're looking to bring. I know there's a lot of shit surrounding him, but he's a very good person to be in the picture. If you can get these people together, they have track record. They have good experience. We can't say that we're getting run of the mill here. We're getting proven. And these appointments into these what will be new positions in a structure that has not had these jobs, I hope will be a conduit to help any manager that's managing the team to shoulder him, for him to rely on them, and that they have expertise to get a vision of how we want to play and the people that are going to come in and help us to do that. And this is exactly what Ranić said. Ranić said, everybody's going nuts about Man United. Watch the interview on YouTube. I watched it just 2 days ago in the evening. He says it's dead simple, this. How do you want to play football? Do you want to go Klopp, gegenpress? Do you want possession? Whatever it is, fine. Now I'll tell you what players we need to get in order to start executing that on the pitch. I think, unfortunately, with Eric Ten Hag, you alluded to it many times throughout the course of his tenure, he betrayed, whether it was voluntary because he found a league that he wasn't prepared for, whether he feels that the players he had or has cannot allow him to execute that plan. But nonetheless, he has not been true to the football we brought him in to play. And what he's managed to conjure with what he has had, which is a lot of money. which is a team full of good players. Whether they're not able to do what he wants doesn't make them a bad player. Varane isn't a bad player. Ferguson says in his book he's one of the best players I saw in my life. But I messed that up. Is his problem. I feel with him, the reins, unfortunately, have, when you're riding a horse, sometimes you lose the reins and you end up falling off and you can't recompose yourself, or you lose your balance. You're trying to stay up, but you eventually fall. He's done that, and it's going to cost him. Or, like I say, he's an amazing guy and he's revolutionizing the club, but I can't see that, so I don't really want to get into it, bro.
There you go. Big up Mumbai. Love. Listen, everybody had their say. Tom, it's the last word of the show. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I'm not buying. I'm in the same camp as you guys. I'm not buying this.
Have you seen it, Tom? Am I imagining it? Or has he been talking about youth players and the future and all this of Manchester United and all of this?
Yeah, I get what he means and everything, because he's almost playing on the heartstrings of what the football club's been built upon, which is young players. That's where Manchester United's success had stemmed from, with Fergie and the class of '92 and all of this, in terms of generations and stuff. But the one thing that I've always known anyway, especially with Dutch coaches, is they like to incorporate young players in their squads. And they feel like it brings a lot of energy. It brings a different characteristic to the team based upon you don't just have a full set of experienced players. And
but Tom,
in many cases,
Tom, they do that. But they don't burn them out like he's doing it.
No, they don't burn the players out.
Burn them out.
But with the thing, I agreed with what you said at the start. When they went on that pre-season tour in Australia, he said that we needed experienced players. I agreed. I think we did. But we bought experienced players who were tailor-made for probably one final contract. The likes of like Casemiro, when we signed them and stuff, they were tailor-made for one contract, and then that was it. You kind of stuck with them as a medium, and it's almost like a balloon being held down by a weight.
Exactly.
And we're the balloon trying to fucking float away, and it's almost as if you're tied down and then you're tied down for 4 years. You can't do anything about it. But with young players, the way that he's gone about it in terms of the burnout, he doesn't know. I don't necessarily think he knows when enough's enough for some players. And I do understand the players when they made the comments and it was coming out that his training sessions are massively intense and everything, because I remember that when he was previously going to come from Ajax and there was the sort of rumours of what he is actually like as a coach, a lot of the Ajax players, when he first joined there, said that his coaching sessions were very regimental. Within, I think they started a pre-season tour, Ajax, within 6 weeks, I think they said nearly a third, pushing towards half of the squad, had muscular tear injuries based upon the high level intensity that he was putting them through. And he refused to change the regime of his training sessions based upon he thought it would look as a weakness to the squad if he just changed it all to better suit that he could have players available, because it went against what he believed is high intensity to play the style that he thought was best at Ajax. But when we look at it, say, with Manchester United, in terms of the performance, we are thin on numbers, guys. We have 2 centre-halves, one of which last season was a young player in Willie Kwambala. I mean, look, even with the Bournemouth game, one of the things that I think didn't get maybe put into the conversation enough is, I think Casemiro, in some games, you could use him, but bear with me, as a centre-half. And the only reason why I'll say that I think you could use him as a centre-half is, I remember a game last season where we had a lot of injuries in defence, and we played against, it was Nottingham Forest in the League Cup, and we played Casemiro at centre-half, and he was immense. He was solid. When you play against a team that's not going to go full gun-ho at you, like, say, Bournemouth won't necessarily tomorrow, when they grow in the game, I think it suits him. He can scan the area as well. He's got a decent header on the ball. We know that because he scores a lot of goals from set pieces. He clearly knows how to attack set pieces. So I would like to think anyway in his mindset, from a defensive output, he'll be able to do that as well. And plus it takes pressure off of, like we say, guys, young players, like such as Willie Kwambala, that you don't have to play them every single game. that there is a bit of a transitional play between players that you can. It's almost like he can play chess with the squad, move players around a bit. Listen, if he's got 7 games left, like everybody thinks he does, and he's not going to be here at the end of the season, fiddle with the team, do what you want, and you never know, guys. You might find something with a player who you might stick him in a position and think, why the fucking hell has he done that? But then it might come off in a game, and you might think to that player, for example, what we did with Diogo Dalot. We brought Diogo Dalot as a right winger, but he's gradually moved back and further on that side, and he was a wing back, a right wing back. Now he's a right back. Now and then he can play on both sides as well. He's almost transformed his game from what he was used to. And in the same way with Casemiro, the midfield is about one thing, guys, and that's legs. You need legs to play midfield. He doesn't have any. And the Premier League is ruthless, and he gets run through far too often. But Casemiro, as a solid player scanning the area and tracking forwards, so long as it's not a forward that's going to run off of him, like we know that Harry Maguire struggles with, I think he'll do fine. Like tomorrow, for example, with Solanke. Solanke's not a 30, he's not a 100-meter runner sprinter, and he'll burst away from you. He's got a decent yard of pace in him, but if you put the knee in the back of him, he'll go down like a sack of shit. Because they want to win free kicks. They'll want to win the ball high up in the final third. That's what Bournemouth will want to do. But like I said, I'm not buying the Ineos PR and the bullshit and everything. I'll believe actions when I actually see actions, not when you talk about them. And at the end of the day, with Erik ten Hag, with the youth thing and everything, listen, he's burning young players out, but is a football club, Nuruddin, anyway. We've done that for like 10 years now. We've burnt everything out of Marcus Rashford for like 7 to 9 years. We bought Luke Shaw as a young player. We've not rehabilitated him ever since that terrible leg injury that he had years ago. Clearly you can see the burnout of Kobe Mino. Fucking hell, the kid's, he wants to come off after 60, 70 minutes. He can't run, he can't move anywhere. Garnacho has played 90 minutes, 120 minutes against Liverpool, 100-mile-an-hour football, high-intensity pressing. And to be fair to him, I'm very shocked he's not pulled a muscular injury or anything. You see McTominay, where he can't position his feet properly because of how fast he's running the game, and he pulls something. Like the systemized things. Erik ten Hag is the coach. He's at the touchline, and he can see that his players are struggling. But there's a refusal to do anything about it. And these people want to say to me, Nuruddin, that he's got loads of injuries and he can't change players. If Garnacho's out, you put Ahmad in. But you can put Ahmad in anyway before Garnacho gets injured or pulls something. So what's the excuse? What's the excuse? There isn't an excuse for it.
He's stubborn. I'm sorry.
He's stubborn, and that's what I mean. But it's in the same case, Nuruddin.
He sacked himself.
With experience. With experience, from now till the end of the season, if you're getting run through midfield, well, if you're going to get run through playing Casemiro there anyway, put him as a centre half and put in an extra 8, and then hope maybe that you might get better ends of things up the end of the field, like me and Les were agreeing at the beginning of the stream. If you play 2 number 8s, you'll be able to get the ball higher up the field, and yeah, it will be like a basketball match. But if he did something like that with Casemiro, guys, and put him at centre half, he's prepared to do something. He's looking at the game and identifying, right, I need to make a solution for this. This is one of the courses of solution that I'm going to look at. Casemiro played a decent 90 minutes against
Can I just make a brief point? It's pertinent.
This manager has refused to recognise his errors. He's making mistakes, and he will continue to do so because he's a stubborn. And I'm sorry.
But how many things are the manager responsible for now, right? Tom brought up Luke Shaw's original injury.
Can I just elaborate on what you're saying, Nuruddin, please?
Just quickly,
at the beginning of the season, and let me finish, and then please push back on me with what
No. We need to wrap up. It's your last comment.
At the beginning of the season, it was brought to our attention that Erik ten Hag is going to commit 6 attackers, and we are going to go to the next phase of the Erik ten Hag plan. So far, so good. He brought in a goalkeeper that is excellent at playing out from the back. So he's obviously there's going to be teething problems when you're trying to develop the team to the next phase of how you want it to play. It's normal. Klopp's had it at certain points in his tenure. Pep's done things that haven't worked. He's changed. Look at the way City look today in comparison to 2 seasons ago. It's different. With Hojlund, it's completely different. There are pluses and minuses. You take away a guy from midfield, now you have to do that thing with John Stones. Look at the defenders that play. So he's early in that transition to the next phase of his football. But the problem he had is he started to implement it. We saw that it doesn't yield anything. It yields no entertainment, and it yields very, very below par results. The indictment comes when he has persisted with exactly that for the entirety of a season, and the results haven't changed, and neither has the football. This is exactly the problem.
Bumbaye, you've hit it right nail on the head. I just want to thank everybody. Big up to all of you who've tuned in. Please smash a like on the video. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm reaching? Do you think I'm being too cynical of Erik ten Hag? Do you think I'm just adding on to the pressure on him? Do you think I'm overreacting?
Yes.
Let me know. No problem. That's football. Is about opinions. Do you think we're going to get something out of Bournemouth? I forgot to give my score. I think it will be. I think it'll be a draw. We'll get beat. If Manchester United win, that's a bonus. Happy to be Manchester United to prove me wrong. But this season, by the way, I'm winning. And I'm winning. My predictions of Manchester United getting battered is there for everybody to see. But anyway, in terms of Murtaugh, Tara, we had a little laugh with Woodward. You know what I mean? Blueberry FC. There we go. There we go. Good luck, Blueberry. Oh, my God. What he could do to them. The damage you would cause them. And please let me know your score as well. What you're going to be the score is. What do you think? Do you think we're going to change it? Do you think we would go with a 2-8, like Java says, or do we take Bruno out of the team completely? I say try both of them. I'm happy with both of them.
Do you know, if you put Roy Keane and Casemiro at 25 in that midfield, we're still conceding 25 shots. It's not their fault. Do you know why? We are designed to be open. No matter what midfield you play, in, they're always running after the ball, and that is because we are playing with an element of risk now.
What we need is
the midfield is wide open.
Listen, we can go on. Save it. Save it for the match reaction. Save it for Saturday night. Save your points for Saturday night. Big up to everybody. Love and light. I just want to thank quickly Jarvis. Big up Jarvis. Bowley 77.
Big up.
Checking about Jarvis Corner on Monday nights at 9 o'clock. Jarvis Corner. Man UFC Realist TV.
Quick comment, Nurdin. I just want to say, Monday we had 14,000 views on Jarvis's Corner, so things are kicking off now. So everybody tune in Monday at 9 o'clock. And one quick point about the game, I just want to say on the record, I think Solanke against Maguire will be a field day for Solanke, because Solanke, he's an intelligent footballer. He's smart. Yeah. He's hardworking. He will run around
some respect on Maguire's name.
And the thing is, Solanke has one attribute that is best of in the Premier League, and that it's flick-ons.
Oh,
he
flicks,
so he drags Maguire out and flicks it off.
He's actually got really good close control as well. This season has been fantastic. It's been his best Premier League season. He's on fire. By the way, they've only lost 2 games out of 11 Premier League home games.
But he's strong on aerial duels. And basically, I would put Kwambala on Solanke. But because of the aerial duels, we have to put Maguire on him. And then Maguire, he will be dragged out of position all of the time. So this is one of my biggest worries, Solanke against Maguire.
Well, he did it. He did it in the 3-0. He was running. He had many chances to score a hat-trick. It is what it is. But big up to you, Jarvis. Big up to everybody. We'll be back on Saturday night for the match reaction. Love and light, people. Let us know the scores. Sean Thomas at Sean Thomas. The podcast, geopolitical podcast called How We See Things. You can get it all podcast providers. And Let's Go Football, check out at Black Renessa. Check out, I can't say that bit of word. Renessa. Check him out at Black Renessa on Twitter. Bumbaye, don't bother. You only find him on here. Tom, make sure you check out Tom Journalist 1 at Tom Journalist 1. So big up to everybody. You've been an absolute star. Smash a like on the video, please. Subscribe to the channel. Win, lose, or draw. Glazers out. Ineos, for me, what they're doing, they can get out as well. 25%. If you haven't got the fucking money to buy the football club, get the fuck out. I'm not here for 25% quarter sexuals business. But anyway, fuck fucking the state of Israel as a Zionist state, racist Zionist with a brutal occupation and the genocide they're committing in Gaza. Big up the Lebanese, big up the Syrians resisting, and big up the Iranians for resisting against this provocation into World War III kind of mode. Big up to all those resisting.
Absolutely big up. Well said, man.
Yeah.
Big
Big up to
yourself
all
up.
those.
Brilliant.
Love, light, always, people. Love, light, always. It's either liberation, liberation, liberation. Free the people. Free Sudan. Free the Congo. Free the Tigray region. Free the Ogaden region. Free the people, man. That's it.
Yeah,
We always stand with the oppressor against the oppressor. Love, light. Eric Ten Hag, you absolute catfish. I'll see you on Saturday with your waffles. Ta-da! Ta-da! Ta-da!
Big up, guys. Safe.
Take care, Sean. Bless all, Jav. See you later, boys.